To be honest, if you were being tackled for no reason at all, you take it like a champ, like Brad Parscale did. Now, I don't know that he'll ever see this, but if you ever see this, Brad, you took it like a champ, buddy. I don't know how this happened or what was going on. I feel bad because this is basically what the story was. Police got a call from a neighbor of Brad Parscale's after his wife ran out of the house in her bikini, ran out of the $2.4 million home in Florida to report that she was so worried because her husband was like totally acting crazy and like he's been drinking and he's been ranting all crazy, saying ridiculous things. He's got a loaded gun. I heard a loud cock and then a bang. And I don't know if he's alive. I think he killed himself. She ran out into the yard publicly saying that her husband just killed himself. Clearly, she was distraught, right? She believed these things had happened. Well, the neighbor tucked her up into a little towel and said, it's okay, stare at these sea turtles. We're going to call the police and they'll deal with this. So the police come. First, they have marksmen. Okay, so the marksmen, this is the story. The marksmen see Brad Parscale. He's in his house, shirtless, on the floor, talking to the dog, drinking a beer. Not killing himself, like his wife said. So the police right away know, okay, he's not at least visibly armed. He's having a beer, talking to his dog. Not killing himself, not committing a crime. For all you know, his wife is nagging him to death. And he says, oh my God, just shoot me. And then he slams a table door, or a drawer, behind a desk door. And so she can't hear it. Maybe she thinks he's really dead. Maybe they're both just drinking. They're a little drunk, both of them. They're off on each other, not on the same page. Get into an argument. He locks himself in a room and says, go away, and slams the door. And she's like, oh my God, he killed himself. And you know that she just knows that he's going through hell right now. So why not just, if she's about to lobby a divorce, this would be the best way to do it. Make him look like a total dick in public, which is what's happening right now. So Brad Parscale, the headlines were, you saw them, Brad Parscale barricaded in his house, armed standoff with the police. Bullshit, fucking armed standoff my ass. Look at this. Watch him walk out of his house and go, nothing's going on, man. Nothing happened. I don't know what she said, but nothing's going on. He's just sitting there. They've now, so this is what happened. Marksmen can see into his house. They see he's fine. They get his cell phone number. They call him. They're like, dude, what's going on? Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing's happened. I'll come out and talk to you. What's up? And I'll say before, I know the last time I stop it, but I'm going to tell you, as someone who understands a little bit about what it is like to have your ups and downs with believing, I'll just say this. Mental illness is a fickle thing. It's a tough thing. And when you rip a couple of beers and you start talking all crazy, people have a tendency to think that you are really a serious threat to yourself. And in reality, you're just kind of venting your drunken emotions at the time, right? People have been through this. You understand it. And you know it, but then when you see your friend do it, you're like, oh man, that's not good. And when you see an enemy do it, you go, how can we score political points? So just bear in mind, this is a guy who has been demoted. He is probably having some personal issues, clearly, because his wife just ran out to a neighbor telling them that he's dead. He's alive. And really, I mean, if she honestly believed he was dead, then good for her for going and telling someone, please call the police, my husband's inside and just killed himself. But this is what happens. He didn't kill himself. The police knew that. The police knew that he was not a threat. And then this happened. They tackled him. They said, come on out, dude. We're not going to do anything.
That's fine.
I'm your friend.
All right, relax.
I'm your friend. It's all good. Sets his beer down.
She fucking...
Just finish it.
Don't.
He's saying, set it down. He goes, she's fucking, oh my God. This is a guy who has dealt with a lot. He managed Trump's campaign. He can't deal with his wife. Okay, what kind of a wife do you have? You managed Trump's campaign in 2016. Not this one. Not the one where you've got the ball rolling. No. You managed Trump's 2016 winning campaign against Hillary Clinton. And now you can't. So your wife is worse than HR. I can't believe that Mrs. Parscale is harder to deal with than Hillary Clinton. But I digress.
Relax. What happened?
So she started saying all this shit.
Now, hear that.
So she started saying all this shit.
Not all this shit. He almost says all this shit. But he says all these shit. Because he's almost saying, she started saying all these things, but he also combined it with all this shit. So he ended up saying, she's saying all these shit. And you can hear it again. What happened?
So she started saying all this shit.
And you can hear when someone like abruptly stops a word like that, they're fighting back something, a burp or something else. And if he's high up on some beers, like we've heard he is, and we can hear, she's saying all these shit. And then you hear, get on the ground! And these two stormtrooper fucking morons from Broward County storm on in there. They just gotta get their man. The guy who they've already proven is safe, unarmed, not a threat to anyone. Lied about when reported, murdered, or killed. So give this guy a break. He just gave away his beer. So if you think about it, a man giving up his gun is one thing. A man giving up a beer is another. Okay? So if he gives up his beer, he's like, hey guys, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any problems at all. Talk to you. I'll come over to the... He's standing in public property. Now, he left his property. He's in the curb. Notice that he's in the street now. So he's completely turned himself over to the police and said, hey, I just want to talk. Nothing's happened. She's just going off on all these shit. And then...
Oh, man, get on the ground. Get on the ground, man. Get on the ground, man.
He's on the ground. Like, his feet are on the ground. He's not, like, running.
Get on the ground, man.
This guy was a football player. Eyes locked into the hips. Arms going for the hips. He's not worried about his head. He knows he's unarmed. Look at this. Hits his wrist. You see this? This is like a wrestling move. I'm going to grab your wrist and then immediately around your waist. Right here like a football tackle. And Brad is looking at this cop, the one who we're seeing the advantage of. The vantage point watching this cop. He's like, oh, what? He's looking at the cop like, why are you doing it? As his buddy is tackling him. So watch this. Take him to the ground. Now, if that's a broken arm or a broken wrist for Brad, or even just, sue the cop. Sue the cop because this is an aggressive waste of effort. This isn't a guy running away with a taser. This isn't someone who is super agitated and is saying, fuck you, man, I'll fucking kill everybody. They're not saying anything like that. Why are you tackling him? Why are you making this an aggressive show of force? Why is he now? He's like, Jesus. He's doing this. Watch the cop knock the hat off of his head.
I didn't do
just for
anything.
good measure. Watch this.
All this shit. Hey, get on the ground, man. Get on the ground. Get on the
For
ground,
why?
man.
Why?
Get on the ground,
He's just standing there. Okay. Oh, he's getting. No, knock my hat off. There it is. Knock the hat off. Why did he knock his hat off? For what purpose does that serve other than to just be a dick? I want to make sure he wasn't unarmed. I think homeboys with the AKs or the ARs, I think they have it covered. I think they have it. The unarmed man who everyone said, the sharpshooters all said, yeah, he's unarmed. He's fine. Come on out. He's unarmed. They know this, and they tackle him anyway. Do you think it's because the news said, well, former Trump campaign manager barricaded himself and hurt his wife, and now he's armed and he's dangerous, and all these other things they want to say? In reality, he comes out, he's like, nope, I'm fine, nothing happened, I don't care what kind of call you got. Do you guys know what swatting is? Can Brad Parscale just get swatted by anyone? This is Brad Parscale drunk getting swatted by his wife. If you want to really look at the facts. What you have is a guy sitting at home on a weekend, drinking by himself with his wife, with the dog at home, just chilling. In Florida. If you had a pool in your backyard, why wouldn't you be doing the same damn thing? She runs out and calls to a neighbor and says, call the police, my husband killed himself. And before any other thing is known, the police are there and they're spying into the house. Now, the police at that point found out that that wasn't the case. He did not shoot himself, and he was unarmed, he was fine, he was not a threat to himself, and then they still did this to him. If this was a mental illness issue, why are they tackling him, holding his head against the ground and saying, well, we're going to help you, we're going to help you out. We're helping you right now, Brad, we're helping you. Brad, we're getting you help. What help does you need? What help does you need? What help does he need? Now I combined a couple of sentences. What help does he need, or what help do you need? What help does you need when you's on the ground and the cops is going to rough you up a bit? Why? Because the wife called and said, my husband killed himself. They show up ready to find a body or to create one, and they're like, fuck, there isn't one? Well, where's the guy? And then the guy's right there, and he's acting totally normally fine. Maybe a little drunk, but he's like, yeah, I'm on my property. I'm a little drunk, but I'm fine. Nothing happened. And they go, get on the ground! And then they tackle him like the NCAA standouts that couldn't quite make it into the NFL. So they became cops, and here they are, tackling the former campaign manager of Trump's campaign in 2016. I don't know. I'd actually venture a guess that he's got more drama coming his way. I would bet you there's more going on with Brad Parscale's personal life that we're just not aware of. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it's still not fair for the cops to jump on him like this. It's still not fair for people to arrest, accuse, to mock, to belittle, to condescend. It's really just wrong. And by the way, if you're going to talk about a man who is obviously going through some shit, look at the fact that he's just sitting there on the stoop. The cop said, come on out. He came out. He came out unarmed. He's got a beer in his hand. They said, come on over. And he does. He didn't stand there and said, come get me. Fuck you, pigs, I ain't going. He didn't say that. He didn't try to get into his car and drive over a cop like Jacob Blake. Fuck you, Jacob Blake. Paralyzed little pussy. Roll over on Grand Rapids and come find me. He didn't say any of that stuff. He didn't do any of that. He didn't try to get into his car and steal kids. Nothing. Nope. He just walked over to the police as he was asked. He did everything the cops asked him to do. They still tackled him. They still took him to the ground and arrested him. Tell me why.
Okay.
You watch this interaction again. You tell me why.
I'm your friend. All right, relax.
What's up? Okay.
What's going on?
She fucking...
Let's stay in the shade.
Let's stay in the shade. Let's stay in the shade.
I'm not doing anything. Relax. What happened?
So, she started saying all this shit. Hey, get on the ground, man. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Why? Why? At this point, the officer with the camera needs to call these dick dogs off. These fucking retards that are going, get on the ground! Get on the ground! Why? Why? What did you find? God forbid. We must see a news story tomorrow telling us that they found a body, drugs, illegal guns, paraphernalia, all the other stuff that you would normally expect from a news story. Because it's Florida. It'll come out tomorrow. I want to know that you raided his house and found a dead body. Because otherwise, there's no reason to do what you're about to do.
Get on the ground, man.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
And look at this dude. Captain Not So White. Right here. Oh, I'm just going to stand right over him with the gun. For what? Back the fuck up, pussy. I don't know who this lady is. It's obviously not a man. But whoever this lieutenant chick is, the Cuban, why are you standing over the guy with a gun like you're about to execute him, but for the fact that the law requires you not to? Look at that. Oh, I'm just going to get right in there. Fuck off. Anyways, all right, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, share this video out, put it on MySpace, put it on the NBA Live chat, go to your 2K game and add it there. Go to the Kellogg's website and leave it in one of the reviews for Frosted Flakes. Do everything that you can do to share this video. Do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.